So welcome back to Decoy Noise. Today we're going to be going over a post of when have you seen the real world hit a spoiled brat? So welcome back to Decoy Noise. We're going to do some AskReddit posts right now. No more live stream. They were kind of tanking my viewership, so I mean, go back to this. We seem to like it. If you haven't already, please subscribe down below, and we're going to just get right into the thread with what's happening to spoiled brats in the world. Okay, so top post. When the high school principal's daughter, who previously got away with all kinds of garbage behavior, vandalism, I'm thinking, but I'm guessing drinking, major bullying, got caught vandalizing a lecture hall in uni, she was unceremoniously dumped and banned. Parents whined for months on Facebook about their poor baby's unfair treatment and the fact that her applications to other unis were being denied. Okay, it's one of those things where it's like, you want to punish the kid when they're a kid because the consequences are so whatever, like suspended from high school isn't a big deal. Getting expelled from a university is something that you're actually going to have repercussions for. Reply for that one was, these parents are actually why crappy children turn into crappier adults. My ex is a prime example. He was always getting into trouble. In and out of juvie and jail. Don't judge me. I was 16 and thought dating an older guy that was rough around the edges was a good idea. Obviously, I was very young. Every time this guy would do something terrible, his family and parents would blame it on other people or his friends, or he was having a bad day, or he's such a manhood person, he didn't even mean it. Have you ever seen those on those murder shows where the victim's family and defendant's family are at odds, and the defendant's family is saying that the victim's family is ruining the child's life because they're wrongly accused? That's exactly the same thing. It doesn't matter if they're accused of what they're accused of and what the evidence says. Their crazy, dysfunctional family will always stand by their side and reward their terrible behavior. That always makes my blood boil when you have, like, you know, the parents going on there, like where the guy broke in with a weapon and the family man defended his family and probably did something terrible to, like, the intruder, and they're like, he wasn't actually gonna do it, he was just desperate. It's like, well, that guy didn't know, and all he had to do was, like, protect his family, but for some reason, the assailant? The guy breaking into the house is the victim in their version of the story in their head. It's just like, come on, man, like, I understand it's your kid, but there's gotta be a better way to go about this. So next thread, spending $50 on food a day is not normal. College girl got cut off from her parents, drinking and not going to class, and had to get a job. She put on Facebook on how she's gonna go hungry and needs money. People offered her food to make her dinner. She said, "That's okay, I need about $40 to get through the day. I don't like to grocery shop." That's not a spoiled kid, like, hitting reality or whatever. That's just, crappy kids doing crappy stuff. I guess, yeah, you know what, I take that back. I rescind that comment. I'm not gonna edit it out. That is true. That is exactly what this thread is talking about. So $40 can feed you for a week if you grocery shop. And that's the thing, is one of those, the situation where all the restaurants and everything are closing down and people are like, oh, hardships. It's like, you know what, you're just gonna have to learn how to cook. That's not a hardship. That's just inconvenience. Next reply, a college student could make that last a while longer, I'd say. Yeah, ramen noodles and Taco Bell hot sauce is what? You can get enough to feed you through the month on $40. For maybe the year, if you go to the right store. My food budget in college was $5 a day. I frequently managed 3 days so I could save the extra and splurge a little on Dungeons & Dragons nights and other special occasions. See, this is someone that knows how to survive what we're going through right now. True, a weekly shopping around was $10 and it was up to $20 once a month. I only had a 9-pack of chicken for about $7 and 2 packs of ramen for 30 cents, so each meal was a little over $3 with 3 chicken thighs and ramen. Even then, I could have cut it more if I needed to. Probably not the most nutritious meal, and as you get older and you need more, like, iron in your diet and vitamin C and whatever else you need out there, like, that might be dangerous, but as a college kid, you can kind of go whatever. So the next person is saying, sorry about the link, so we're in for a good story. So I mean, if you haven't already, please subscribe down below, leave me a comment, try to, like, get the engagement, upvote, whatever it may be, but I'm not gonna hold you too long. Let's just get into the this allegedly long story. So I was a school bus driver in the 70s, during the height of court-ordered busing, so I ferried poor kids to the rich side of town, then rich kids the other way. A lot of entitled brats, but one stands out. Super entitled kid, constantly defying the rules. Eventually caught him with too many witnesses, attempting to set a bus seat on fire with his lighter. School officials were called. Hearing what with officials and rich dad, he's been banned from all buses rest of the semester. Dad offers to pay for the damage and quietly accepts the punishment, then comes the surprise. Next morning when I arrive at 6 a.m. to clean the bus, regular task every morning, rich kid and dad are standing there. Dad introduces me to my new personal bus cleaner for the rest of the year. He brings kid every morning and forces him to wash and clean the floors of my bus before taking him onto his school. By the end of the year, entitled kid is actually working hard and being friendly. We're getting along pretty well, and I help him out sometimes so he can get on to school. Turns out kid is okay when it's all over. Good move by the dad. So that's actually a great story. You know what? The rich kid thought he can get away with everything. Dad sets him straight. Reminds me of the story that they say over in Japan there's no like janitors and there's no cafeteria people either. It's just the kids. Like it's kind of like prison. Like the kids get segmented into different groups and they rotate. You guys are the janitors, you guys are the cooks, and they all take care of themselves, which gives them a better understanding of hard work and just like regular stuff. Like all these rich kids that don't understand. Like I have a rich friend that educated and everything, but honestly it was a long time ago. We were at a Radio Shack and he's picking out all these different like tools, I think for his like a microphone or something, and all this, we have all these different things. He figures out which one he wants and he just dumps them all on like behind a shelf, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? Just put them back. He was like, oh, it'll give them something to do. And I'm like, you obviously have never worked an honest day in your life, because that is not okay. Like why you think it's okay just to shove something off to them? Like, you know exactly where it goes back to. Now this poor guy's gonna find this stack somewhere at the very end of his shift and be like, oh crap, now I gotta move all this stuff back. Obviously I'm getting overly angry about that situation, but I always, I guess since I've worked so many crappy jobs, I always side with the person working said crappy job if they didn't have the opportunity to get, you know, a crazy education and do all that other stuff. So kudos to the dad. I'm still angry about something that happened probably like 20 years ago. So just go to the reply. What a great way to teach him responsibility. Great dad. Reply. That is good. Affluenza can be a real thing? What? I don't understand what this is. Oh, connection between wealth and immoral behavior on a psychology thread. So I'm not going to click that, but that seems like an interesting read or whatever. I was expecting you to get assaulted or threatened. I'm glad I was wrong. Yeah, we kind of expected like rich dad to be like, oh, I'm going to tune up this bus driver, right? But you know what? Good on the dad. Never have I seen an entitled kid or a non-entitled father. Sounds like something my dad would do if I would get in trouble. Alright, so let's go on to the next thread. When I was working at a public library, we had a few local celebrities come in from time to time. Most of them were nice. One of them had a real stick-up as ours. He would complain about having to stand in line, about late fees, and about everything else. We would just say, sorry, those are the rules, and thank you for being patient, even though he wasn't. One day, he and I were apparently having a bad day, and when I told him there was a limit on how many DVDs or video games he could check out at a time, he slams his hands on his desk in rage. Do you know who I am? This is a grown man. Mind, I was a little college student who barely looked old enough to drive. I was sick of his low-key bullying, so I just looked at him and said, yes, I do, Mr. X. The rules still apply to you. Which of these would you like me to put back? He was stunned. I don't think anyone ever actually told him the rules are for everyone else did in fact apply to him as well. He was a little nicer after that, not a lot nicer, but still. See, it's kind of one of those things like he's bullying you. If you show him that you can't be pushed around like that, sometimes they end up kind of backing off, which is nice. The other thing that would be come into place is that the adage they say, people treat you the way you let them, so maybe he learned that. And also, not to take the grumpy guy's side, but if he's mean to the librarian that's giving him stuff for free, who else is he mean to? Is he mean to his family? Is he mean to his dog? Is he mean to himself? Like, that guy has problems far beyond what's going on in the library. Next reply. Trying to flex at a public library is some real low-level stuff. You can't look down at me while you're trying to borrow games at the place I work. That's true, that's very true. Reply. Like, right? I need you to move along because there's a 4-year-old behind you that wants to check out Frozen, and there's a homeless guy behind him that wants some Wi-Fi password, and all three of you are equally important. So please stop wasting everyone's time. Yes, that's the truth. It's a public service. Yes, you're paying it through your taxes, but honestly, come on, man. I feel like Timmy in that episode where he's trying to get the gangsters to stop fighting. Like, come on. So, what is this? A station break? I'm gonna take a drink of cherry Coca-Cola, 0. Honestly crisp and fresh, listen to it go. That probably sounds terrible for my ASMR channel, but I mean, yes, if you have a drink and you want me to review, send it to me. I will advertise it for you. So, next reply. In the 6th grade, my teacher was this tough older Scottish woman with a very thick accent who probably led battalions in World War II. She terrified me and I adored her. One of my classmates was a snotty brat who constantly bragged that she never had to do chores or homework and always got her parents to do the work for her. One day we had a book report due, and the book report was supposed to be 2 pages, and for some reason this girl wasn't able to get her parents to do her work for her on this one occasion. So came in and turned on a book report, and was only 1 sentence long. Okay. Our teacher looked like she was about to rip this girl in half. She held up the book report and said loud enough for the entire class to hear, Are ye an idiot? I wish I could do a Scottish accent. Someone correct me down below. Let's do one more right here. A kid in college was a roommate of a friend of mine. He was always pretty bratty and spoiled, but hung out with the rest of us as if he were a good friend, and we let him chill because sometimes he wasn't bad. Then one day we heard him arguing with his mom on the phone that he needed more money. From the ensuing argument, we learned that he had, in less than 1 year, burned through 30 grand that his parents gave him for food and discretionary spending. Mind you, he was not paying for tuition, lodging, or his car with his money. It was basically just food money, as all those other things were already covered by his parents. Oh no. He was calling his parents some really nasty things and hung up on her. Then his father called and they got in an argument, cussing each other out. At the end of that call, he threw his iPhone at the wall and shattered it. This was the original iPhone. Oh. Turns out they cut him off and basically had to drop out of school and drive back home out of state because he couldn't afford to do anything anymore. And of course, was too good to work a pleb's job, so like a regular job. So he added me on Facebook about a year later. He was a late blooming conspiracy theorist or whatever. And the only thing I ever said to him on Facebook was a simple reply correcting that he was wrong about the conspiracy theories, and he had 4 replies in quick succession telling to open my mind. And he blocked me. Okay, open your eyes. Wake up, sheeple. So, I mean, I guess we're having fun with that. I mean, we're doing lots of different things. We kind of had fun with this stuff right there. So, I mean, in the comments, let me know if you have any stories that you saw the real world hitting a spoiled brat. And also, if you haven't already, you made it this far, we're having a celebration. Subscribe down below, check out that video over there because we have a lot of other fun stuff. And also, let me know if you like the direction of the channel, no more live streams, more of these regular videos, and with the situation at hand, I can release a whole bunch of it throughout the day, 10 minutes long, see how we like them. So, I mean, just chat with me down below. We're here, it's just me and a cat.